Esports versus We Made You, and they told me I had to pronounce it in a French-like way. Well, I don't really think I'm gonna be doing that. I don't know, just not my preference. I could, but the name that
10
they have
seconds
in
to
CEVO
go.
is Rolos Rascals.
Reserve time.
So I guess I
5
really should be
seconds.
calling them
5
how
seconds.
we advertise them, Rascals, but I don't know. I'll probably be saying Boreal Esports more often because that's what I see on the screen and it's easier to mention, but whatever. We're going into the game. The
Radiant's
drafting
pick.
phase well underway. We got the Razor and the Brewmaster getting picked up first by Rolos Rascals. It's going to be the Viper and Void ban out for them too. Pretty standard stuff coming from them, standard meta, whereas We Made You, they're going for the Naga Siren
Radiant's
Disruptor.
ban.
Very different kind of style coming out from them. Naga Siren, not a hero we've seen often recently. Definitely doesn't come up as often nowadays as well. Hasn't really had her fill with the meta recently.
10
I mean,
seconds
we
to go.
have seen her picked up every now and then, maybe as a last pick,
Dyer's
but
ban.
a first pick Naga, that's kind of interesting because, I mean, you have to think about draft in terms of them being afraid that heroes will get banned
Radiant's
out. Like,
ban.
if you pick up someone first, that's because you're afraid that the enemy team is going to go ahead and ban them out or make them not
Dyer's
available
ban.
to you, judging by your draft. However, the Naga Siren doesn't typically get banned out earlier on. In fact, usually will make it to the final slot. We've seen her get picked up last
10
quite
seconds
often.
to go.
So where she goes, no one knows.
5
However,
seconds.
she does get
5
picked up
seconds.
with the Disruptor, so we can assume that it might either be the safe lane with the
Reserve
Disruptor
time.
helping her out. You know, the glimpse into the net is a fairly good combo. Or she could just go ahead and go into the mid role where she's played quite often by some of the more micro-intensive pro players. We know Arteezy is one of them. Eternal Envy has been seen to do it, but they're going to respond with a Bristleback and Tinkerband to the pickups of Razor and Brewmaster, and Rolos Rascals are going to go ahead and get rid of the Enigma. So Rolos Rascals are right now reading this draft as ultimate draft. They do not want the Naga Siren's Song of the Siren to be able to go into the black hole, which, I mean, is a very good combo. You imagine with the Static Storm on top of all of that, the duration of the black hole will deal a significant amount of damage if he can put down the Midnight Pulse, where
Dyer's
if
pick.
it's set up with the Song of the Siren, he's probably going to be able to put down the Midnight Pulse. But we'll have to see if there's any other backup plans for We Made You. Now, there is still Magnus, which works in the same way, sort of, that Enigma does, except doesn't hold them in that one position for a very long time. Trio Protector, kind of the same thing as well. We'll be able to keep them locked down in the position, maybe put down the Static Storm, but
Radiant's pick.
I wouldn't be surprised if we saw a Darkseer combo. Maybe the Darkseer Shadow Fiend or something along those lines. Darkseer Disruptor is absolutely incredible. I mean, you imagine the vacuum into the Static Storm kinetic field. It works. It's a very nice combo, and it works incredibly well. So Boreal or Rolos Rascals are going to go ahead and grab themselves a Skywrath Mage, sticking with the meta right
10
now. It's
seconds
going
to
to be very
go.
difficult right now for We Made You to deal with this.
5
I mean,
seconds.
typically we see a Brewmaster, one of the main things he has to deal with is silence, but he's only got the
Reserve
Skywrath Mage
time.
and the Doom, which really counters him in the current meta right now, and well, both of those are either on his own team or banned out. So, looking at it right now, we really need to see some heavy-duty combos coming out from We Made You, because already, I mean, Razor and Brewmaster are incredibly tanky heroes. If they get pulled into the combo that We Made You are setting up, it's not really going to matter until, you know, Naga Siren can really get some good items out, maybe drop down a Diffusal Blade to burst down Brewmaster's mana so he
pick.
can't get the Primal Split off. But even then, his mischance is going to be a bit of a predicament for the Naga Siren's multiple illusions trying to hit. Gyrocopter will get picked up by We Made You, though, going
Radiant's
for a
pick.
little bit of split damage. And again, can go quite well off of the back of the Song of the Siren, but really what We Made You are hoping for, to get as many people in that Static Storm as possible, locked in the kinetic field as well. And if you've got someone like a Sand King or a Skywrath Mage, anyone really on the side of Rolos Rascals left out of that kinetic field static storm combo when the
10
Naga Siren
seconds to
Song of the
go.
Siren wears out, then they're just going to be able to wreck
5
face. I
seconds.
mean, the Sand King can stay off on the sidelines and charge up his epicenter, then make his way into the midst of the team fight, and the
Reserve
Gyrocopter and
time.
Disruptor will get absolutely melted by that. I mean, Gyro, probably one of the glassiest glass cannons in the game, but they're going to go for the Elder Titan.
Dyer's ban.
This one sort of glues their lineup together fairly well. I mean, the natural order is going to just make the damage output incredibly high. But again, this all relies on the
10
fact that they
seconds to
can catch
go.
everyone inside of that kinetic field static storm off of the back of the
5
Song of the
seconds.
Siren initiation. And the draft that Rolos Rascals or Boreal Esports have themselves lined
Reserve
up right now,
time.
they're setting themselves up to not have to be in a position where they're going to be caught by all that. And that's where we mentioned the Darkseer coming into play, where he would have been able to maybe grab 2 or 3 heroes that ordinarily wouldn't have been caught together into a singularity, but without that ability to do so, then it's going to be a lot of trouble for We Made You to find those openings for initiations. I think most of their initiations are going to come off the backs of really aggressive, or be their initiations be counter initiations to really aggressive movements from Rolos Rascals, where maybe they group up as 5 and push down a tower, see a hero,
10
all chase
seconds
them,
to
and then
go.
in the wake of the tunnel vision will get counter initiated on and demolished. But the sniper will
Radiant's
get banned out,
ban.
which is an interesting little ban coming out from Rolos Rascals. Didn't exactly see the sniper getting picked up by We Made You, but maybe, I mean, they pick up sniper quite often and we just don't see it.
10 seconds to go.
I can't tell for sure. But what I can say is that
5 seconds.
We Made You are, again, just really lacking the ability to get everyone inside of that one point
Reserve
that they need them
time.
all to be. I imagine Boreal Esports or Rolos Rascals are going to just take elongated, spread out team fights, and We Made You don't exactly have the best lineup for that. I mean, if it was Gyrocopter and Naga Siren, then maybe I'd say they really fare well in drawn out team fights. Elder Titan's okay in that sense, but Disruptor, he's really
Dyer's
a
pick.
one-shot, one-go kind of guy. I mean, once he puts down his kinetic field static storm, I mean, save maybe 1 or 2 glimpses to try to pull back a hero that gets himself out of harm's way or thinks he's getting himself out of harm's way. Ultimately,
Radiant's pick.
he just comes down to his ultimate in team fights. Nature's Prophet will get picked out to add to this kind of spread out team that Boreal have themselves set up, and We Made You. I wonder what they're going to go for next. I mean, they've got themselves a Nature's Prophet, so if they want to, this is all hypotheticals. If they want to try to run the Gyrocopter as a support, a Spectre wouldn't be ultimately too bad in this
10
lineup.
seconds to go.
I mean, Spectre and Naga Siren each individually building
5
diffusal
seconds.
blades would be incredible for the amount of mana burn they can do, but on top of that, they'll have some sort
Reserve
of
time.
response to Boreal Esports spreading out, where if they group up, they drop down a ton of ultimates. If they spread out, they get hit by the Desolate. But, I mean, that was, I guess, the idea behind the sniper. Maybe Gyrocopter is going to be playing a support, and they just want to get rid of, they want to ban the hero that can deal well with a long team fight, deal well with heroes completely spread out, and deal damage from behind enemy lines. That's, I think, the reasoning behind this ban. But we'll have to wait and see what
10
We Made
seconds
You
to
go
go.
for with their final pickup. And it's going to be a Venomancer. All right. Interesting pickup coming from them. We'll have to see how it deals with the lineup that Boreal have themselves set up. As we go on into the game, drafting is done. And game time just about ready to start here. This is CEVO Season 5 matchup between Rolos Rascals, or also known as the Boreal Esports, and We Made You. You're watching Chicago Ted here, casting for you guys. If you want to, if you like the draft, you can follow me on Twitter. I mean, no big deal. It's at TedCast. Shameless plugs coming out right there. But ultimately, the channel, Play CEVO 1, is where this is being streamed on Twitch. And in game, purchasing the ticket. If you're already there watching in game, thank you for buying that ticket, supporting CEVO. As we start off the game with a pause. I wonder if I think one of these teams are South American. This is a very South American style pause coming out right at the beginning of the game. But looks like we've got the readies and maybe not. So we'll have to wait and see how they go. But in the meantime, I'm going to go ahead and introduce our players for the evening. We have for Rolos Rascals, it's going to be Jolly Joker heading out the lineup with the Brewmaster. Monkeys Forever, self-proclaimed Arteezy. He's going to be on the Razor. Futse will be on the Nature's Prophet with Rolo on the Sand King. And Ja picking up the Sky Wrath Mage. Meanwhile, for the We Made You squad, we have Floyd on the Disruptor. Mythos will be on the Venomancer. The Weekend playing the Naga Siren with the Gyrocopter picked up by Kraken. And Looney, well, he'll be on the Elder Titan. So, game starts to head out. We got everyone making their starting item decisions here. But ultimately, let's see what kind of lanes they want to go for. So it looks like starting out, we already might have an aggressive trialing coming in to take shape here in the early portions of this game. It's going to be Rolo and Jolly Joker heading out to the same lane. Ja, he's going to be making his way towards top, though. I wouldn't say it's going to be... actually, this is different. I think he's heading up to just ward. Yeah, he's got a ward in his inventory. He just wants to get some vision across the map, but I don't think there's going to be a dual lane on the side with Quitze, so he's definitely going to be soloing up the safe lane, looking to grab some easy gold off of that one. Meanwhile, it looks like we have another offensive tri-lane taking shape with the Naga Siren, a support gyro, so it is going to be a support gyro.
30 seconds to
and
showtime.
The Venomancer here. The mid will be played by... I think... Well, actually, this is very different. They might just be going ahead and throwing out the Disruptor in the mid lane. I have seen it before, but not in any pro game or nearly pro game. And I guess the reasoning behind it would be to try to get as much XP on the Disruptor as possible, and hopefully he can get out his Static Storm really quickly. Yeah, he's going to be playing the mid lane with the Gyrocopter on the support role. So, a very interesting draft coming out, but taking a look at his opponent, it's going to be him up against the Razor here in the mid lane, and Razor's going to have the buddy of Rolo helping him out here to make sure that nothing goes funky in this lane, but there isn't really any way for Floyd to solo kill Razor here. I mean, well, Sandking's going to find himself a haste room, by the way, so this could be a very dangerous lane right now for Floyd to stick around, and Rolo's going to go up and just scare Floyd off for a little bit of time. Didn't quite get within range of that Burrow Strike. Looney, meanwhile, on the bottom lane, is going to try to do what Elder Titans do best, throw out the Astral Spirit, and deal some chip damage to Jolly Joker. But the issue that he's going to find here really soon is that once the Astral Spirit comes back in and he's got all that extra auto attack damage, adding up to, well, the Astral Spirit itself, he's not going to be able to get that hit off. I mean, if he waits too long, then the chance is going to refresh, and it's a 100% dodge chance if he hasn't been attacked for something like 15 seconds or close to. So it's going to be a little bit difficult for the Elder Titan, because that's one of the main things he does is wait until that Astral comes back and then throw out a punch or two, and if the damage stacks up. But it's not going to really happen in this lane, and in fact, a Thunderclap is going to do a lot of damage to Looney as they just continue to come out and come out and come out. And the crit is nothing too shabby either. Jolly Joker going to probably have an easier time in this lane than many of the offlaners we see going up against a solo safe lane Elder Titan. But just around the map, it actually is going to be Weekend and Mythos. They make their way throughout the jungle. They want to find Rolo here and try to get up an easy pickoff onto him. He will be stacking up jungle camps to try to get the Sandstorm out and farm those, but he's not going to be able to do so until he's level 3 or higher to try to get that level 2 Sandstorm out and running.
Invisibility!
But Skywrath's going to get himself an invisibility rune now. He has his concussive shot and arcane bolt ready, and the pings already fly out. I think that's a defensive ping on the Floyd to be ready for whatever's coming out. Ja looks like he wants to make a go, but is just going to walk past. It ends up being 3 heroes from either side, just kind of sitting behind their mid laner for the time being. Rolo, though, going to make his way back towards the jungle here. Not really able to farm up these stacks just yet. Farm up nearly anything, as he doesn't have a single point into his Sandstorm as of yet, and probably won't be able to get one in for quite a long time, judging by how his XP is going. I would imagine going up to the top lane and maybe sapping some from
First
top, or
blood,
likewise on
folks.
bottom. Well, speaking of bottom, it's going to be Elder Titan dropping down. That was the Invis rune coming out from Ja to secure that one. And, well, the lane just goes as expected. Jolly Joker going to take a little bit of an advantage in this one. Ultimately going to have some free farm in this lane where Elder Titan was a little bit ahead of him in CS. Well, he's just going to be able to catch right up. We take a look back towards the top. A missile going to go out towards Futse. But that's not going to amount to anything here. Just a little bit of chip harass damage. Floyd going to get wrapped around from Rolo, but spotted out just soon enough to get himself right back up onto the high ground and out of harm's way. Rolo, still level 1 here in the jungle. Not going to be able to farm for a very long time. Ja, he's got himself, what is this? Okay, it's not another Invis rune, it's a smoke. It looks like he wants to snipe out the courier, but doesn't spot it fast enough. In fact, doesn't even see it just yet. So, in fact, he's just going to go for the kill here. If he can get the concussive shot off, he's going to go ahead and get it off. Monkey Forever with the static link. Rolo trying to get close enough to get the burrow strike off. He's going to go for it, but it will miss. Now, Plasma Field will fly out, try to get some extra vision, but Rolo gets himself caught in a very poor position here. The Weekend's here, ready to help him out, and Rolo just going to go ahead and trade attacks with Floyd. And, well, it just looks like it goes on for a very long time, but ultimately, Rolo will end up dropping Floyd, the one to be in the vicinity for that kill. It's going to be the Weekend to pick that one up, though. So a nice little extra bit of gold for the level 2 Naga Siren. And Looney coming back into this lane, hopefully with a storm here, as he's got a lot of ground to cover up right now. He's already surpassed the Brewmaster again in last hit, so not looking too bad for the time being. Kraken and Futse up on top. Sparring it out, so Futse dropping very low here in this top lane. He's actually very close to his phase boot, so that's going to help him out a little bit to get away from the rocket barrage of Kraken. But if he gets caught out by the magic missile, he could be in a lot of trouble now. Speaking of in a lot of trouble, Monkeys Forever in the mid lane. He's going to go ahead and get Venomous Gale up to slow, as well as the Riptide to reduce his armor. They lock him in place with the net. And the last couple of auto attacks should be the death. It's going to be the ward of Mythos to go ahead and clean that one up. Meanwhile, Kraken in a lot of trouble here. Rolo with the burrow strike. He pops down the rocket barrage, but in comes Futse for the teleport kill. It's actually going to be Ja with the Arcane Bolt to finish that one off to make that a 2 for 2. Trading evenly here. Everyone really dying, I guess, at least once in this game, as you see. No real advantage going either way just yet. It's at 5.5 minutes into this game. We take a look back up top, though. The Weekend overstaying his welcome just a little bit here, as he's going to be surrounded by 3, looking for one last Riptide to clean out Futse, but will not be able to get it. Will end up going down here in the top lane to give it another kill towards Rolos Rascals. And Futse just barely stumbling away with less than 100 HP on that one. The Riptide would have been the death of him here. Rapid pings coming out in the top lane. Looney still trying to add up some damage out onto Brewmaster. They're trading evenly in last hits at the moment, though, so looking really good for the Brewmaster at the moment. Rolo is going to get netted up, but he's going to actually disjoint it out by Sandstorming. Now the Kraken is going on the chase. No teleportations just yet, and Rolo will drop despite all of his efforts. And no teleports to come up and help him out here. They're just going to let that one go away for free. Now the teleport rotation comes out. But it's going to be Futse, who's in this lane anyway. And if that had been him, it would have been very difficult to deal with. But it's not going to be him. He's very close to his level 6. Back in with phase boots. And it looks like the Weekend isn't done. He's going to go up and try to get the net off to try to set up the rocket barrage here. But Futse playing it very safe. He's going to go ahead onto the bottom lane to teleport. It's going to be Looney to take some aggression here, but Jolly Joker can't get in close. They cannot find the Sprout, and that'll be the end of that. So far, no tower is really taking too much
Dire's
aggression
top
here.
tower's getting
You see the
beat
top
down.
tower actually going to see the start of some as the wards start going down from Mythos to try to keep the creep wave off the tower, maybe
Dire's top
adding a couple of
tower,
extra auto
you know
attacks.
the
But this
drill.
tower is
Have
going to
fun
take a
trying to
very long
bust down
time to take
radiant
down,
structures
especially with
now.
level 2 wards. But all across the map, it seems like no
The
one
Dire
really
might wanna
pressuring
mine
any
the top
towers just
tower.
yet. 7.5 minutes. And the most damaged tower is still about 2/3 HP. So a very, very wide rotation coming out from Futse and Ja here to try to clean up Looney.
Dire's top
Would be his
tower's
second
getting
death if
beat
he goes down again, and they're going to go for it. And a concussive blast will come out, and he will get sprouted up, trying to go for the immediate TP. Can they clean him up here? They will. Ja getting a last bit of attack off, and that will seal the deal here as Elder Titan going down a second
Radiant's
time
mid
in this
tower's
game.
getting
The
banged
top
up.
tower, though, might
Dire's
end up
top
falling
tower,
before the 10-minute
you know
mark
the
as
drill.
no attempts have been made to defend this tower. In fact, long abandoned by Futse as he knows
Dire
there's no
buildings
way
are tough as
he's going to be able
nails
to
for
do
now.
anything about this. They're going to
Dire's
go ahead and
top
glyph, and now they've got a
tower,
rotation
you know the
coming in.
drill.
It's going to be Jolly Joker immediately primal splitting up.
Dire's
He
lost
wants to
the
clean
top
out the
tower.
Weekend here, who's only level 3, no Song of the Siren ready or available, and he's just going to go down quickly. A Burrow Strike and a last auto attack. Futse will clean up that kill. Now a Cyclone goes out on a Mythos, another stone to fly, and they want to try to get everyone else in and ready to go here. Thunderclap, one last slap, and that'll be the end of the Venomancer here. Mythos will take a drop to make the score 3-6. Rolos Rascals grabbing themselves a little bit of a kill advantage here, and same as said, and the golden XP charts approaching 3,000 gold and XP advantage in their favor. But We Made You still grabbing themselves a tower for the trouble. And now Astral Spirit as well as Stomp will fly out.
Radiant's
Sets up
mid tower's
perfectly for
coming
the net if
apart.
they can find it. Get some vision out, but they cannot get vision inside the Sprout. And thus, he will get away. Futse, some clutch thinking coming out from there, but ultimately a level 2 Stomp doesn't keep you asleep for a very, very long time.
Radiant's mid tower's getting banged up.
Ja hanging out way behind Mythos here. He's got his level 6, looking to drop it for the first time in this game. Concussive shot
Radiant's
flies out.
mid-tower
Ancient
could
Seal
use a hand.
looking for it, but doesn't have enough mana. Very little mana control coming out on this guy. Doesn't even
That's
need it,
4
though.
in a row.
One last Arcane Bolt will fly out, and that'll be the end of that one. An issue with Skywrath Mage, though, at such an early level, if you spend too much time setting up that kill, I mean, you're going to run out of mana really, really quickly. And I guess he's saying saving his Mystic Flare for something really important here. The net actually is going to fly out, by the way. Hold him in place for the Split Earth here, and now Monkeys Forever just trying to run away. That's Earth Splitter, by the way, not Split Earth. Now Rolo, he's going to charge up his Epicenter. He's got a Blink ready to go. He's going straight onto Weekend, but not enough time to keep him in one place. Now that it will be the follow-up from Monkeys Forever to clean up that kill. Futse will clean up
Radiant bottom
Loney
tower
on the
ain't
back
pretty
line,
sight right
and that's
now.
going to be a 3-0. Boreal grabbing themselves another couple of kills. Monkeys Forever still chasing Mythos, running away, half HP from one
Somebody's
Thunderclap,
on the wall.
and a
3
triple
down.
kill going the way of
Radiant's
Monkeys Forever as
mid-tower
it
could
turns
use a
into a
hand.
4-0, and the mid-tier 1 will drop on the back of that one.
Radiant's mid tower ain't doing so good.
So Rolos Rascals have gotten themselves a fair bit of advantage already in this game. It's sitting 11 minutes, but their very meta-style draft right now is doing exactly what, you'd expect the meta-style draft to do. That's win the early game, or at least get very far in the early game, and then death ball at the 15 to 20 minute mark. They're already starting that, by the way, at 10 minutes. You can see Nature's Prophet, by the way, Futse. He's purchasing up his Orchid now. You see the 2 Sage Mask, 2 Robe with a Magi build. Very interesting build. Typically you see them finish one Oblivion Staff over the other, but it's really a case of sock, shoe, shoe versus sock, shoe in the build of the Orchid Malevolence. And it's all dependent on exactly what you need. This kind of style actually is really nice for some extra mana regeneration. And I mean, it's 50-50 instead of a single 75, and a lot of extra intelligence going his way too. So out comes Looney, though. They want to go ahead and try to get the Stomp up, but Rolo will be the only one to get hit by it. Now there's 3 points in the Stomp, which means no one's going to get hit by the Slower Splitter. Now we see the call down coming on in. It's going to be the Gyrocopter cleaning up Rolo. Monkeys Forever going to chase on the Weekend. The Weekend should end up dropping with another auto attack to fly in, maybe one more. That's all it's going to take. Another Stomp to fly out, but Looney will not be able to clean anyone up on the back of it. He's going to end up dropping. That's one last Arcane Bolt to fly through. It will not get the kill, but 30 HP means that he will drop regardless. to make it a 4-for-1. And Rolos Rascals still running away with this game.
Radiant's
as the bottom tier 1 tower taking a ton of damage. The top tier 1 also grabbing a fair amount of damage on its own. And
trouble brewing at Radiant's
I won't say both
tower.
towers are going to go down, but the bottom most certainly will drop. And Futse is free to burst down this top one whenever he deems fit.
Radiant lost one of them bottom towers.
So taking a look really quickly at some of the items coming out. Our Monkeys Forever is getting very close to his Aghanims. He's got his mechanism up. Jolly Joker looking at a that's a Hood of Defiance he's going to be purchasing up, or he's got a Ring of Health, which is an awkward pickup. I imagine he's building that into something like a Hood of Defiance. There are not many other options to build this item into, aside from, you know, the Bloodstone, but we'll see what he decides to go for. But taking a look at the other side of the map here, Gyrocopter, he's got himself a Hand of Midas and boots at 13 minutes. He's going to be struggling to find his items coming out and the coming future. Now, that's not to say that if this game goes a little bit longer than Rolos Rascals intends it, that he's going to get out of control, because he most certainly could. But the weekend is still a Naga Siren, and a Naga Siren can end up stinging into the late game if he can find some farm. He is playing as a support, but it doesn't ultimately matter, as he's going on the back of a well, actually, what am I talking about? These guys are on the same team, so he can sting in the late game with the Gyrocopter, but ultimately, again, if he doesn't quite get the farm he needs to play a sufficient transition to carry role, then he's going to have a lot of trouble. Now, they're going to find Futse here, but even though they had the vision, they didn't exactly spend the glimpse off. That would have canceled his teleport out, but instead they don't know if it was just a mismanagement or they just let it happen. Meanwhile, the Kraken just going to fall to John in the bottom lane, so this Gyrocopter having a little bit of trouble here, but Floyd, meanwhile, on the top lane, a Primal Split. He's going to send back the Brewlings, but none of them are actually going to go back because, well, he sent back the main brew.
Somebody's
and
cooking.
Now, Jolly Joker, he's going to clean up Floyd. He's looking for more. Weekend, trying to run away here. The Brewlings still on the chase, though, trying to find out the stone to get the stun off. They will end up grabbing it. A fair bit of damage coming out from that one, as where the hell did Brewmaster go? What happened to him? I don't even know anymore. Anyway, Rolo's hanging out down the street. Futse gonna get hit up by the magic missile. Shouldn't be too much though, as Jolly Joker, his TP or his blink comes off cooldown. Gets himself right up next to the Kraken. Now he's gonna go for the kill here. Futse though, gonna get completely annihilated by that Earth Splitter here, and BM pause here. Yeah, it looks like actually no, Roll is going to be AFK for the time being. So they're going to pause for the AFK, but yeah, just got to get some water off here. At the moment, we see the Kraken looking up against Jolly, or looking toe-to-toe with Jolly Joker. I don't think Jolly Joker even cares what's going on here. He turns around, 2 slaps. If they're both crits, the Kraken's already dead. Maybe a Thunderclap will be required off the top of that one, but the Kraken, he's got support. There's Looney already there. No mana for the stomp. If he hits up his magic wand stick, though, he will have that one up and ready to go in 7 seconds. But Floyd is in the vicinity, can drop down his Static Storm. The Weekend also close by and ready to go. I don't think Jolly Joker's dead. I'd be very surprised if he ended up dying here. But he most certainly could be in a little bit of trouble. Now, if Rolo comes back, he's got his Epicenter ready to go. He's sitting up here now. He could be the actual target coming out from We Made You, as they could turn around and just clean him up. He's only sitting at 230 HP, but I imagine instead of initiating here, he's just going to go ahead and try to blink himself out of there. There's no reason for him to sit in too close and go for a kill, as it could mean his own life here. But if they can get it, if they ignore Rolo here and he can get an Epicenter off, blink Epicenter, or rather Epicenter, blink, Burrow Strike, then followed up by Jolly Joker, they can most certainly make themselves, give themselves a quad kill here. I mean, there are 4 heroes who, by and large, are relatively squishy. None of them exactly having any real tanky items, all of them going the direction of damage. I mean, Gyrocopter, he's got himself an Ogre Club, building towards a BKB, but that's in and of itself not an inherently tanky item. It is a decent amount of health. However, if he gets focused down, he's just dead. So I don't know. At the moment, it's just it seems a little out of reach for We Made You. I would imagine for them to come back into this game, they'd have to be looking at 2 or 3 perfect executed fights, and I mean a perfectly executed fight only goes so far. I think it would have to be off the back of a huge mistake from Boreal, maybe sending in the Brewmaster to die, or he gets picked off and the rest of them going one by one. And even then, I mean, We Made You are going to struggle to pick off the Razor, and even the Skywrath Mage will probably hang back in the back of the fight and drop down a Mystic Flare and pick off someone on his own. So it's going to take a horrendous mistake, I imagine, from Rolos Rascals to actually lose a fight. Meanwhile, Rolos Rascals, all they really have to do is keep themselves alive, maybe get 1 or 2 kills here up in this top lane. Unless they misplay it, they should be able to either get 1 kill or not even die, but they can probably go ahead and take Roche up fairly soon, and then just rotate around the map and find a couple extra towers and find a couple extra kills. So it looks like Rolo has gotten himself reconnected back onto the game. We're just waiting for the status update, making sure they're all ready to play, and then we'll go straight on in to resume this game 1. As the score is 18-5 at 15 minutes. Taking a look at the golden XP grab. Oh. I guess this is what I get for not looking at it a while. It's 10,000 at advantage, 12,000 for XP. So I don't know. I think We Made You have given themselves up a fair amount of chance to actually win this game. Looks like, are we ready to go? Players are confirming in right now. Yep, we're ready to go.
All right, carry on.
And it looks like We Made You. They saw the potential of the epicenter. They saw the potential of a full health Brewmaster, and they just backed themselves off here. They didn't want to give Boreal, Rolos Rascals, a chance to find an extra kill. But Monkeys Forever, he's going to say, no way, I want to kill. And he's hanging out way deep right now, as he's going to catch the Weekend out. Weekend has level 6, and he actually puts down a Sentry Ward, which is a very interesting ward placement. Probably to try to catch out an Observer Ward right around here to make sure that they don't have vision, or even here to make sure they don't have vision up on the high ground. But it could be he felt the chance of an Invis gang coming out from Monkeys Forever. Now we're going to see a static link go right behind. It's going to be on Mythos, who gets cleaned up immediately. The Weekend caught himself way out of position here. He's going to evade the Mystic Flare, but walks out of the iron and into the oven, as Monkeys Forever just going to grab himself up a quick double kill to really, I mean, I'd say secure this game, but the game's long over. Jolly Joker going to get glimpsed on back. Meanwhile, Kraken, he's going to actually find Footsie somewhere in the knit and grit of the map here, but a triple kill will go the way of Monkeys Forever, making it a monster kill spree, and they still haven't taken the tier 2 tower down. So this one's going to end up falling, and, you know, I think breaking the high ground isn't far behind.
Radiant's mid tower's coming apart.
Yeah, the tier 2 is just going to drop. Tier 2 bot probably isn't long for this world. Roshan probably isn't long for this world, as the pings do end up flying out Rocheward, and Kraken, ultimately, I mean, he gets a solo kill on the Footsie, so that definitely helps him out just a little bit into the game. He's going to have his BKB up relatively soon. It's up in about 600, 700 gold, and once that goes out, I mean, I don't think he's going to end up carrying fights. I mean, most definitely not. In fact, he could end up just dropping right away here if they don't have any sort of way to stun him. Jolly Joker's going to take a lot of damage, and the TP out will be successful from the Kraken. In fact, Jolly Joker going to go ahead and TP himself on out of this one. Doesn't really want to leave himself in there at low HP. And Rolo, Futse, and Ja are going to go ahead and sit in the Roche pit, ready to make a go here. But this could very quickly turn into a disaster, as we have the Weeknd waiting up behind the lines. Wants to look like looks like he wants to go for a Song of the Siren. A Static Storm could be devastating here, but opting not to go. The smoke runs out, and I think that's the disengagement. Yeah, not making any attempt to make their way towards the Roche pit. Roche still hasn't dropped low yet, so they still have time, but instead they're going to group up towards the mid lane. They're going to find Rolo, who's in the midst of a sandstorm, and Roche is just going to get it given away free to Rolo's Rascals.
Old Roche won't be coming back for a while.
Jolly Joker is going to be the one to take that one up and put it in his inventory here. An extra life going the way of a Broodmaster that can already split himself into 3. Meanwhile, Monkeys Forever going to go ahead with an Illusion Rune. Going to split and push up onto the top lane. He is getting very close to his Refresher's Orb already. He's got an Oblivion Staff, going to be able to pick up the Perseverance really soon, and then it's only 1800 until he's got a recipe ready to go. And Monkeys Forever, he's actually going to get himself stunned up by the Stomp, but it doesn't look like they've got any way to really lock him down just yet. And that flying out under a creep for some reason. Kraken going in. Monkeys Forever actually gets hit up by the Earth Splitter, and he goes down. 1,000 gold going the way of the Elder Titan. And the rest of Rolo's Rascals, I guess I'll just call them Boreal at the moment, they're going to go ahead and try to go ahead and make a difference here, but they've already lost their Razor, and the refs can't exactly get the follow-up damage to make anything
Radiant's top
and make any attempt to get Vengeance off. Now, they are going to try their best to get this top tier to 2 tower, and by and large, they should end up getting it.
Radiant's top tower's in bad shape.
I think the real issue here is that not only is the top tier 2 taking a lot of damage, the bottom tier 2 is as well. Now the Weeknd going to go in with a smoke, throwing out the net here. Futse just going to try to TP himself on out there and should be successful. No! In comes the Glimpse. Sprouts himself in, but sprouts himself in with a big fish, and Naga Siren going to be able to go ahead and clean up that kill. The Gyrocopter the one to actually take it.
Tower.
Now with the bottom tower getting denied, the top tower will end up dropping, going the way of Rolo's Rascals.
Top tower's in bad shape.
Yeah, there's no chance they're going to be able to get the deny off. You saw Looney making his way up into the lane, but
top tower.
The tower just took way too much damage too fast. And the Weeknd throwing up a ward up onto the high ground. I think they know that ward's there. They blatantly saw him just sit up looking at the high ground with the ward of their own. And with an Aegis under their belt, Boreal can go ahead and try to make a go towards the mid lane, maybe breach the high ground a little bit and find themselves a kill. Or a tower, or a Rax. Either one works. Just ultimately playing passive across the map, and I'm rather surprised actually how much this Gyrocopter has given himself in the game right now. I mean, taking a quick look at the net worth chart, he's still behind the Razor. That's Monkeys Forever, but he's found himself a BKB, ready to go. The Midas helping him out just a little bit, but the BKB isn't going to help him. It's going to do a little bit, but it's not going to help him. Maybe block out a little bit of the extra burst damage, keep Ja from bursting him down in the middle of a team fight. But it's not going to keep him alive under the fire of Jolly Joker and Monkeys Forever. Speaking of Jolly Joker, he's going to make his way up onto the high ground. Immediately, Floyd is going to drop the kinetic field, but it's not going to keep him alive. There's no mech, nothing to keep him up and kicking. Now there's going to be a Cyclone out on the Mythos with the Wrath of Nature flying through and a Stone to also go out. They've got the Burrow Strike to follow up. Mythos still alive for the time being and not going to be able to stay alive for quite a while now. There's going to be a missile flying out onto Rolo. Pipe comes out from Jolly Joker that was built out of the Hood of Defiance. They're going to go ahead and glimpse back Rolo. They want the kill on him. They got the kill on him. And that'll be the end of the Sand King. A Mystic Flare will fly out, trying to find Weeknd, who will get cleaned up by the Thunderclap. Kraken immediately popping his BKB. Now they've got a call down. Boreal, Jolly Joker going onto the low ground. 4 staff down there. Going to be able to walk out of the kinetic field here. And that'll be the end of that. A 1-for-1 support for a support. Ultimately, I think we made you getting the better end of that one. They could get a really good end of that one. but a blink out from Futse will mean that he doesn't get glimpsed right back into the fray. And
Radiant's bottom
We
tower
Made
ain't
You
pretty
are
sight
still
right
holding
now.
out onto the high ground, ready to make a defense of their life here. As, I mean, kills are one thing, but objectives are another. And if they can keep their Ancient or even a couple of racks kicking, they could end up grabbing a good advantage in the late game. But as it stands, the graphs are telling a story that I don't think We Made You want to hear. 15,000 gold advantage going the way of Boreal. 12,000 experience. And you can see that in the items, I think, being picked up. I mean, barely scraping a mech out is Mythos, whereas Monkeys Forever finished his 10 to
8 in a row.
close to 15 minutes ago. Now, the Weekend, and
Radiant's
Rolos
mid-tower
is going to
could
try to
use a
keep
hand.
his gyrocopter alive here, but the Skywrath Mage didn't clean that one up. Now, an Ancient Seal goes out, and the Weekend, he will end up dropping. A Earth Splitter will fly. It's going to catch 3, Rolo, Futse, and Ja. Primal Split will keep our
Radiant's
Brewmaster
mid-tower's
alive
getting
here.
banged
Floyd
up.
dropping very low now. A call down to fly out, but not keeping anyone alive. And the Cyclone up onto the Venomancer will make sure that
Radiant's
even if he
mid-tower's
did have
coming
his mech,
apart.
it wouldn't fly out. Now he's going to get
Radiant's
stunned up, but
mid-tower's in trouble.
Rolo will get clean. Futse trying to make his way out of there. We'll put a Sprout onto Kraken. I think that was a buyback, by the way, out from Kraken. It was indeed. He had to buy himself back into this game, which sets him back a huge amount of golden XP, now pretty equal to where he was about 5 minutes ago. And the Stomp trying to catch someone out of position here, but will not be able to do so. Jolly Joker in a lot of trouble here. His Aegis, though, is all that gets popped. Now, Refresher's Orb gets clean, finished up on the Monkeys Forever. He's got his ultimate in 3 seconds. He's waiting, ready to make a go of this one. Will he pop it up? He could end up doing it. He's going to go for it. He is ending up getting Poison Nova out, but he's not afraid right now. He's got plenty of tank, plenty of ability to sustain, and he just dives straight on back. That Lightning cleaning up the racks in no time at all. And where it looked like We Made You were having a fairly solid
Radiant's
base defense,
mid-racks is
I
out of
think
the
that's going to be
picture.
gone in a blink. As well, Lightning is the most destructive force on the planet, it seems. Floyd going to go ahead and get custom
Radiant's
shotted
top
up.
tower's
Kraken
hurting.
could end up dropping here for a dieback. He gets himself in the fountain just barely to grab up enough HP to survive with another Arcane
Radiant's
Bolt
top tower's taking a hit.
surplus
One last
of
top
health.
tower
Now,
for the
Rolo
Radiant.
going to go ahead and disjoint up the net. So at the moment, it looks like We Made You just grasping that straw as it. They seem to have an okay item progression coming out, but with that buyback on Kraken, it just is all going downward here. Kraken going to end up using another BKB charge. They want to try to make a go on to Jolly Joker here. Primal Split in 9 seconds. Can they burst him down fast enough? It looks like they're going to be able to do so. Now an Earth Splitter flies out. Will not catch anyone up just yet. A static field missing out. Monkeys Forever barely caught in the back end of that one, but will get caught in by the kinetic field. Looney
The
is going to
first
continue
fly in
chasing
at
with a
Radiant's
missile to
top
follow
racks.
up. And they're going to get just glimpse him right on back. The missile continuing to follow. And he's just going to end up dropping. Kraken will be the one to finish that one up. As Monkeys Forever will clean up Floyd in the background. Rolo is going to go ahead and drop his Epicenter, cleaning up another kill. That one's going to be the Naga Siren.
Seriously, I
And
lost
Kraken,
count.
well, not Kraken, sorry. Looney is just going to drop to the Mystic Flare. In the back lines, it looks like Futse wants to clean up Kraken. Now Kraken drops. And that is a dominating spree. So I think, and all said and done, this could very well be GG go next. As game one, I would have to say, goes the way of We Made You. But of course, the GGs haven't flying out just
Guess
yet,
what's
so
happening to Dyer's bottom
we cannot
tower?
make that call for certain.
Radiant's top racks is running out of time. The Radiant's top racks.
But they're continuing
didn't
to
make
just
it.
barrel around the racks here, take down buildings, and show no mercy as Futse making his way to the bottom lane. They just want to go
Trouble
ahead and go for
brewing
the
at
negative
Radiant's
creeps at the
bottom
moment.
tower.
And I wouldn't blame him here. I think the GG is expected out of everyone at the moment.
Radiant's gone and fortified their structures. Radiant's bottom
As Radiant's
tower
courier
seen
just
better
gets killed.
days.
Wonder what that was for. 2,400 net worth, by the way, on the courier. I would imagine that it was a Demon Edge to try to give Gyrocopter a little bit of extra damage here. Maybe try to build into the YOLO Divine Rapier, as that could be the one reason why they're not GGing out of this game. But they're not even going to get to it. With the courier dead, with a courier
knows?
sniped,
I mean,
actually,
how about
they're just
that?
not going to be able to grab that one. They won't be able to farm for another 2,400 gold plus
There
an ancient
goes
relics,
Radiant's
30
bottom
800.
tower.
Now, An Earth Splitter will fly up, but not able to get a kill. It's going to be the Eye of the Storm cleaning Lonely up and not hitting up on the missile. Monkey's Forever just running away from that one.
Bottom racks.
No real reason he should be. The Glimpse back on to Ja. He pops himself up a mech, though, just so that he doesn't end up dying. The call down will fly through. He does end up dropping. Mythos, though, is going to be the collateral. There's a Primal split off on to Jolly Joker, who ends up going ahead and cycling up Floyd. They want to make a kill onto him, but this is just diving into the fountain at the moment. As the bottom racks, the Mega Creeps do end up getting finished up. And the game, I think, all but over.
Didn't make it.
Monkeys Forever actually gets cleaned up by Floyd, by the way. Last chance? Last hurrah? I think so. Floyd getting ready for the Kinetic Field Static Storm, but Rolo blinking out. The damage not quite hitting fast enough. Now Jolly Joker gets pulled right back in, but won't be able to do anything off the back of that one. Floyd running away from the Eye of the Storm. Kraken taking a little bit of damage from that one. Monkeys Forever, though, getting a lot of damage done to him. Could he end up dropping here, but with call down, he will end up dropping. Kraken comes in, though, with an Epicenter. Catches on 4, cleans up 2, cleans up 3. No, Mythos, he's still alive. Jolly Joker will go down. Rolo's going to end up going down as well. And, well, Mega Creeps are out, but they get a wipe, or very close to.
Things ain't looking bright for Radiant's Ancient.
I don't know. It's just all showmanship at the moment. Play till the last drop of your Ancient, I think they say. As a Siege is real. In fact, in comes
Get a
Ja.
load of the Ancient over on the
Just looks like he's
side.
suiciding at the moment, looking to make a Mystic Flare happen onto Floyd, but it won't happen, as a stomp will dissuade him.
Radiant's Ancient is under pressure.
And it looks like the Ancient sitting at about half HP by
Looks
no
like
fault
Radiant's
other
Ancient is
than
getting
the Creeps,
stomped.
who would have ended up killing Floyd. They're going to drop a Mystic Flare in the fountain and clean up Nagasira. Mythos will drop 2 foot sage. And yeah, they're just cleaning up Floyd in the Ancient, or in the fountain. No big deal. Cycling up, Yule Scepter onto Ja. He's going to get hit up by a Static Storm. Pops the Ghost Scepter, but the racks fall. GG. We're going to a game 2, guys. In the meantime, I'm going to bring you guys right back up. Wait for the main menu to go up. But if you guys like the cast, if you're watching in game, you can follow me on Twitter at TedCast. I'd greatly appreciate it if you did that. Or just go to the stream, twitch.tv/playcevo1. And just watch over there, drop a comment, compliment, criticism, complaints, anything really in the chat. I don't care. But we're going to be going to a game 2, so